Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link, and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of January 28th, 2023. Here now, it's hour one.
You know, I always like to start with something interesting. And if you use Uber, there's now a way for you to see your rating, of course. It's all under account information. But if you're using Uber Eats, you can now see what the delivery person knows about you. I mean, I often thought about that. What makes the delivery person pick your order over somebody else's? I'm sure it has to do if you gave some good ratings, maybe you said thank you, you were at the door when the delivery person was actually there. And now the feature is rolling out to the app, and it will be under orders. There's going to be a new option that says view the order as a delivery person. Now, this is a true story. A friend of mine broke up with his girlfriend. She was going out with somebody else at the same time. She was cheating, but I really thought that they were going to get married. But anyway, he told me that he ordered her a steak dinner and then he had Uber Eats deliver it. And I said, why would you do that? He said, well, revenge is a dish best served cold. Isn't that funny? Hey, listen, it's the Kim Komando Show. It's the largest show about all things digital. It's your most trusted source. And you're about to get more tech smarts because every single thing, that's right, is now a tech thing. And if you're a brand new listener, welcome. We're so glad that you're here. And if you're already a listener, welcome back. And you can find the Kim Komando Show on over 425 top stations across the United States. We're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando, of course. And we're streaming as a podcast, as a webcast, 24/7, commercial-free, over at getkim.com. You get 30 days free trial to check it all out. And after that, it's just a few bucks a month. And you can also find us on the American Forces Network Radio that serves more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in 175 different countries and 200 ships at sea. Get the Kim Komando Show. And I'm sure you have at least a few questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you're just too shy to come on a big-time national radio show and podcast, well, we got you covered. Head over to komando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim, and I read every single note that you guys and gals send me there. All right, let's get started with the news. And let me tell you, every day, I go to about 30 different websites, and I want to put together in this portion of the show 5 news stories that are happening in the tech industry that you need to know about. And we're going to start by talking about the advantages of electric versus gas-powered cars. I mean, why are electric cars better? Well, number one, okay, they're better for the environment. They make less noise than gas cars, except when they go in reverse and they get like that weird Jetson sound. Anyway, they can accelerate faster than gas-powered cars because they have instant torque. They also require less maintenance because they have fewer moving parts. And let's say the government is giving us some tax incentives to buy electric vehicles. And they're cheaper to operate than gas-powered cars. Wait, what was that last statement? Come on back, bucko, because a recent report from the Anderson Economic Group, they said that fueling costs from gas-powered cars are actually lower than similarly priced electric vehicles. Because fuel at the pump, you're paying about, get this, for 100 miles with gas, say $11.29. That's what they found. EV drivers are at home when they're charging up are about $11.60 per 100 miles. And if you're using those really expensive recharging stations along the highways and in the shopping malls, for an EV, you're at $14.40 per 100 miles. So let's just go back. It's going to be $11.60 at home with the EV, $14.40 if you're at the fast chargers. And then if you're at the house with gas, you're $11.29. So what the heck is going on? Ha, come on, you're so smart. The cost for electricity has doubled in the last 10 years. So buying an electric car isn't the no-brainer that it used to be. But I will tell you from experience that when my electric bill, when I looked at it after I had the Tesla, it went up. It went up about 12% charging at home. So it's something to think about. Okay, you didn't have to buy gas, but your electric bill still goes up. All right, number 2 on our list, buddy, can you spare $1? Layoffs are everywhere. Big names like Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, they're letting tens of thousands of people go. So why all the tech layoffs? Of course, you can blame the obvious, recessions, inflation, skyrocketing interest rates. But it's not just that. There's a tech analyst, a guy by the name of Gene Munster. He was over on CNBC this past week. And he says it just comes down to this. The headcount's too high at companies like Carvana and Lyft and Twitter and Netflix. And they all increased their revenues during the pandemic, but then now things are kind of leveling off, so they got to let a whole bunch of people go. So what's the name of the one company that is not having any layoffs? Anybody? Can you think of it? Yes, it starts with an A, not Amazon. So you know what it is. It must be Apple. That's right. And why not Apple? It's not just because of all the iPhones, is that they just don't hire a lot of people. Oh, and this was in the news this morning. Google is laying off 12,000 people. 12,000 people, including 31 massage therapists. Didn't know they had those employed there over at Google. I tell you, if this radio gig doesn't work out, I know where I'm going. But anyway, speaking of the massage therapists, I guess they're going to have to massage each other in the unemployment line. Number 3 on our list, this is a really sad story. It's another Facebook screw up, okay? Let's say you're in a private group on Facebook, and there is a murderer in this private group. Now, the authorities know about it, the social media site knows about it, but you don't know about it. Here's the story. Moderators of a private parents' Facebook group in Arkansas, they got a shock. A violent killer was a member. She targeted pregnant mothers in the group, saying, oh, if you guys or gals, you need baby clothes, you need cribs, anything for the little ones, you just let me know. Well, her gal's name was Lucy Barrow, and she would work under this guise of just wanting to be so nice and helpful. And she'd write something like, oh, I have extra clothes, let's meet up. The thing is that Lucy Barrow's real name is believed to be Amber Waterman, and she's probably a murderer. Sadly, she found a victim through this online group, a 33-year-old pregnant mother-to-be, gal by the name of Ashley Bush. Waterman has been accused of kidnapping, shooting, and doing some really horrible things to this young woman's body. Now, according to Forbes in December, the FBI told Facebook to provide posts from within this group and a bunch of different data about the members. The thing is that Facebook never told the group that Barrow was targeting members of this private group or that they were under investigation. So the bottom line here is this. Just because you're in a private group doesn't mean that it's a safe group. All right, number 4 on our list is the doctor in. When's the last time you had a question for your real doctor and it wasn't WebMD? I mean, usually you have to call the office, you get a gatekeeper, but let's say you're so smart, you're super smart, and you figure out your physician's email address. So you think, hey, I'm just going to email them all my questions and a few pictures of the rash on my butt and ask them what's going on. But wait, not so fast, because doctors are now charging for email, up to $100 per email. Makes sense. Time is money. So here's the deal. Before you go back and forth with your doctor by email, make sure you're not getting charged per email for that. And finally, this coming in at number 5, it's going to cost you. I'm talking about ChatGPT, the most advanced AI yet. If you haven't tried it, you're missing out. It's so amazing. So news out this past week, not going to be free. Going to be $42 a month for you to use ChatGPT. And I'll tell you, no wonder that Google's freaking out. I don't know if you know this, but here we are, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. They got billions of dollars living on their private islands in their 120-foot yachts. And then now they say, okay, you've got to get back to work. The shareholders need you. So you need to keep your stock price up. So Sergey Brin and Larry Page, after 4 years in retirement, are now coming back to Google because of ChatGPT. And a lot of people are worried about it. Like, is it going to take our jobs? I mean, will it destroy humans? How will we know when this artificial intelligence becomes self-aware? The answer? when it starts to think that its bot is too big. All right, coming up, we have clues that someone is reading or getting a copy of your text messages, how to find spy cams with your phone, and why you need to get a new email address right now. And of course, we have all of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And let's get started with Michael in Norfolk, Virginia. Hello there, Michael.
Well, kind of a complicated situation. I told your assistants I have a 14-year-old daughter who has a rather severe social media addiction. And we have been putting out fires and messes for months now. She's found various means of getting online, and then once she's online, some of the things she's done have not been very beneficial. So it's been like a nonstop, never-ending battle since then. And basically, whenever we know that she's gotten her hands on a smartphone, we've found ways of tracking it down and so forth. And that was very easy with Android phones because the software, the website, and so forth, you can get in there and find it pretty easily. Lately, she's gotten her hands on an iPhone, and we have her Apple ID and password, but her iCloud account does not allow us to use Find My Phone or anything like that. So we're trying to find some way of tracking down the phone. We've also talked to Apple, and they have been very unhelpful because she's over 13. They consider her an adult. And so
this
we're
is
kind
tough.
of at it. Yeah, it's very tough.
This is tough. It's a tough situation. Sounds like you're playing like whack-a-mole. Every time you take something away, she finds it again, right?
That is a very good analogy. It's not so much that she finds the exact thing we take, but she finds ways to getting her hands on another one. And so we've got a collection of about 13 phones now. And this latest one, like I said, is an iPhone. She's got it stored away somewhere. We looked into various means of trying to find it as far as cell phone signal detectors and hardware detectors and things like that, but nothing's really...
See, it seems that if you find one iPhone, there's going to be an iPod, there's going to be a tablet, there's going to be somebody's laptop that has been left open, a desktop computer, whatever it may be. If she wants to get online, they, meaning big tech, they make it a lot easier, it seems like, to get online than to get offline, right? Than to get rid of your account.
Right.
What you can do is if the phone is still on, you can turn on Bluetooth and see if your iPhone will detect and try to connect to it. But it sounds like she's got everything all turned off.
Well, she uses it and then she'll turn it off. And we don't have iPhones ourselves. Everything we have is Android. We do have PCs and so forth, but hers is the only iPhone. And if it was a matter of using something besides an iPhone, we would probably be able to find it pretty easily. But Apple has just gotten things pretty well locked down, and everything that we've looked into as far as trying to locate it is said, okay, we need to use Find My Phone. Well, the Find My software only works, for some reason it doesn't work on her iCloud account. We can get into iCloud and it says you don't have access to that feature. So, that's
she may have turned it off. She may have turned it off. Okay. If she has if she has Find My turned off and she uses the phone and then turns it off, it's going to be really hard for you to find it with anything other than just a metal detector. I mean, for you to actually go out and say, where is this? And then, but keep in mind that you may just be scratching your head because she could give it to a friend. She's just going to keep going from one device to the next device. And she found one that's pretty hard for you to get to. And she turned off the Find My features. She's obviously very smart for her to take these different extents. Okay. So my point being is to sit her down at the kitchen table and say, turn over the phone, and you're not leaving this chair until you turn over the phone because you're not 18. When you're 18 and you pay all your bills and you do everything, then you can go off on your own. But while you're in this house, these are the rules. What happens
We
then?
have done that so many times, Kim. I mean, she's been advised by relatives and others, oh, well, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You're an independent woman, blah, blah, blah. And so she's taken all that to heart. We can't very well give her the third degree. There are limits on what we can do. But we've done exactly that on multiple occasions. And she's very obstinate about that and so forth. Again, we've confiscated probably 13 phones. And now she's got one that we can't grab. Yeah, I know.
I feel sorry for you, really, because Michael, this has just got to tear you apart. And it takes your time, emotions, energy, money. How is she even buying all these devices?
That's a whole nother story. But regardless, one of the problems, it wouldn't be so bad, except that some of the things she's gotten into while she's been online. And, that's kind of a whole nother ball of wax. But, we're just trying to kind of nip it in the bud. And we've been until now, we've been successful, except for this particular phone. And it's just an Apple thing.
Yeah. And, like I said, if she has Find My device, if she has that turned off, there aren't a lot of options that you have right here. In order for you to find the phone or to try to use a metal detector somewhere in her house. But, she's smarter than that. She's blown through 13 devices. She's learned everything. Each time that she went to a new device, she learned something new. And I would enlist the help of the counselor and tell the counselor, this is what's going on. I'd take her down right now to the counselor's office and say, this is our problem. Help us solve this family issue, because it's not just going to be an iPhone. Maybe next time it's another tablet, it's another laptop, or whatever it may be that she can get online. She can get online on an Xbox. It's that we have to go to the problem, and the problem is that your little girl has a real issue, and we need to nip that in the bud before she gets to be 18. And then she's out of your house, and then you have no authority, as she says, an independent woman. People aren't telling her she's not an independent woman. She's a 13-year-old little girl. Okay, I wasn't an independent woman until I was paying my own bills, and I think I was 19 when I started doing that. So I'm really, really stressing that rather than looking for a technical solution, I think we have to go back to basics. And I know you said that you've done that before, but I think you need that counselor involved. Because there's no technical quick fix here to find an iPhone that's turned off. I wish there were, Michael. I'd be the first one to tell you about it. And thank you for your call. Studies have shown that excessive use of social media can lead to symptoms of, say, other addictions like withdrawal, tolerance, and negative impact on your mental and physical well-being. So always keep that in mind. Hey, if you got a car and sitting in the driveway, you could be making some money with it. There are sites like Turo, and I use Turo. The car was delivered to my hotel. It was cleaned inside and out. It was cheaper than those big names. There's also Get Around, and also Uber drivers also need some decent cars. So if you have a car, you're not using it, take a look at maybe you could rent it for the day and maybe make a couple $100 or maybe even more. If you need more information, we have links over at Komando.com. Hey, stay right where you are. We have clues that somebody's getting your text messages here on the Kim Komando Show and more of your phone calls that you never want to miss. All right, before we go back to all of your phone calls and some more great tips, let me tell you why you need a new email address right now. Now, when you buy something from Amazon, you get a few emails regarding your order, like when it was shipped, when it was delivered. Well, that's changing right now because Amazon, for the first time, is allowing sellers to email you directly. So on Amazon, sellers can only send you a marketing email if you follow the brands on their site. But that stipulation is going away. So if your Amazon account is tied to your primary email address, it's a great idea for you to get a new email address and use that only for your Amazon account. Now, it's so easy to create a new email address using Gmail or Outlook. And once you have that email address, you just sign onto your Amazon account and under login and security, update your address. This way, your personal email is free from Amazon sellers just sending you targeted email after email after email. You're like, oh, make the spam stop. All right, Linda in Denver, Colorado. Hello there, Linda.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I was recently laid off, and the company's letting me keep my computer, but they're going to wipe it clean before I leave. And I want to buy a version of Microsoft that includes just the basics, Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, and some sort of security software. I'm a boomer. I'm not very tech savvy. So I want to know what you think I should buy. I need to be set up at home to look for a job. I'm also looking for a small printer that's low maintenance. I don't have a lot of room. I have a very tiny condo, and my kitchen table serves as my table and my desk. So,
you know what? It does all the time. I mean, I have an office, but you're going to find me in the kitchen counter.
Yeah.
Sometimes all day. It's just the way that it is. There was a woman, Linda, who called the show. Oh, this is probably about 2 years ago, and she had like 3 computers and 2 printers and all this stuff on her dining room table.
Oh.
She's like, how do I consolidate all this? So, anyway, all right. So what did you do before you got laid off?
I was an office manager for a small engineering company.
Okay. So, did you use Microsoft Office there?
We used Microsoft. We used 365.
All right. So you have Office or Office 365. One is a one-time purchase versus a subscription. Okay. Office 365 is a subscription. You can pay an annual fee, or annual or monthly fee rather, and you get collaboration, OneDrive, Teams, things like that. And it also has some security updates. Now, if you go ahead and buy Microsoft Office, the version that you can buy, if you don't want to do a subscription, if you actually want to buy it, the last version you can buy is Microsoft Office 2019. And that includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So if you just want the software, I'll send you a link. You can buy it on Amazon for about $140. So it depends upon you if you want to do that. Now, throw a whole nother wrench into the picture, okay, Linda? Is that if you didn't want to buy anything, is that you can just use Google Docs. Use Gmail, get a Google account, you have Sheets, Slides, and you don't need to buy Microsoft Office. In my company, we use Google Docs. We don't use Microsoft products.
Okay, so if I bought the Microsoft Office 2019, do I have to buy separate malware security software?
Well, you're going to have that with Windows. We have a sponsor, Total AV. So if you go to protectwithkim.com, it's $19 for the first year. You're going to save 85%. So you do need some security and some antivirus software. And as far as a printer, it's really hard to beat an Epson EcoTank. I've had one for years. What's nice is that it comes with these big ink tanks. You don't need to actually fill them up, you don't have to buy the cartridges. And full disclosure, they are also a sponsor. But again, it's a really great printer, and I think you'll enjoy using it, and it's very cost effective. One of the other things that I just want to throw out there for you, Linda, is that being an office manager, you wore a lot of hats, right?
Yes.
And there are a lot of different things that you're good at. You might want to look and see go to LinkedIn.com, or you can go to ZipRecruiter or Indeed.com. And I'm just throwing it out there as just an option for you, is that there are so many companies that are hiring now remote workers, including remote office managers, to do certain tasks that an office manager does, because you can just do so many things. Maybe you're doing anything from HR to accounting to receivables and ordering supplies and things like that. And you might be really good at getting a virtual at-home job as maybe a virtual assistant or a virtual office manager. Just forewarning that when you see these jobs listed, I just want to make sure, be smart about it. You shouldn't have to pay anybody anything in order for you to get a job or buy your own computer or anything like that. It's just a scam. So if you have any questions about any of these job offers that you might see online that are virtual or remote, just give me a call back. I'm happy to go through it and look at it for you, because I don't want you to get taken advantage of, because so many people are getting scammed out there. Again, so it's Office 19. Hold on the line, 2019. Linda, we're going to send you a link to that over on Amazon, so to make sure that you get the right one. And thanks for your call today. Hey, by the way, over at Komando.com, we have so many lists of legitimate jobs that you can do online and work remotely. Just search work online over at Komando.com. All right. This week we put together a tip about all the clues that someone is reading or maybe getting a copy of all your text messages. And iPhone owners, your first look is at your families. That's right. Because Apple iMessage text can get intercepted by someone close to you using a connected device. And there are a couple of ways that this can happen. First, there's message forwarding. Yeah, you don't know it, but your text messages are being forwarded to somebody else. Maybe that's how they know everything's going on. I'm not going to give you the steps on how you can see how it's enabled because it's all on the site because, you're never going to remember it by listening on an audio format, but you have to go to settings and messages and then message for, blah, blah, blah. So just make sure you hit Komando.com. Now, you can also use a code to see if your calls and texts are being forwarded. Now, depending on your carrier, this may or may not work, but all you do is dial *#21#, and then you hit the green call button. Once again, that's *#21#, and then you hit the green call button, and then you can see if your text messages are really being forwarded. Now, what about spyware? Oh my gosh, spyware. That's when somebody can get a copy of every single thing that you do on your phone. I'm talking about every single thing. No matter what it is, they get a copy of it. Now, probably one of the most popular apps is called mSpy, and it says they can monitor texts and calls and social media, as I mentioned, everything. Now, once that's done, your messages and more can be intercepted. Also, someone can sign into your iCloud or Android backups using something called Dr. Phone, and then they can see everything that way. So if you think something is on your phone, you can look for the names of other apps, aside from mSpy, like there's Spy Bubble, Coco Spy, a Spy Era, uMoblix, Hoverwatch, and again, we have the names over at Komando.com. So what you want to do is take a look at the apps that are on your phone, and again, we're going to give you the steps to do it. And if your phone is infected with spyware, there are some other signs. Okay, maybe your battery's heating up, or you're getting some extra charges on data. Maybe it's slowing down your connection speed, or your phone is suddenly shutting down or constantly losing a connection during calls. Those can all be a clear-cut sign that you've got spyware or some other type of malware on your phone. All right, for the exact steps on how to do all of this, as well as the names of the programs, as I mentioned, we have it written all out for you. So this way you can just walk through it step by step over at Komando.com. So go to Komando.com. And when you're there, there's a button at the top that says Kim Show. Just click there and you can have everything that I just mentioned. All right, still to come, you've checked into your rental and you're sitting there thinking, ooh, I got a feeling that somebody's watching me. So how do you find out if there are hidden spy cams and maybe in a hotel room or in a Vrbo or Airbnb or maybe just at work or wherever you are? Well, still to come, I'm going to walk you through all that. And again, we have more of your phone calls that you don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. Okay, over on the website, we have a really big contest that is ending in just a few days. So if you have not already entered to win a $500 gift card over at Komando.com/win, what are you waiting for? I'm going to be giving you a $500 gift card that you can use on Amazon to buy anything that you want. Now, here's the deal. If you go to Komando.com/win, once you enter in your email address and your name as your entry, you can get additional entries. And this is the really cool part, is that, for example, if you follow me on Instagram, you get another entry. If you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, you get 2 more entries. If you subscribe to a newsletter, you get another entry. You subscribe to a podcast, you even get another entry. See where I'm going with all this? So I want you to make sure that you take the extra steps so that you get these additional entries. And let me tell you, we haven't had that many entries into this contest, so the odds of you winning are pretty great, just letting you know. We've had a lot more entries than other contests, but January, I guess, is a slow month for contests. Anyway, so go to Komando.com/win. Once again, that's Komando.com/win. All right, back to the phones we go with Mark in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hello there, Mark.
Hi, Kim. I'm a big fan. I get all your newsletters. I love Opt Out Tuesday. It's helped myself and my family very much, so very much appreciated. Kim, my wife and I were listening to, we have a big CD collection, and we were listening to them over the holidays. And she asked me a question, and she says, Mark, is there a way we can set this up on our phone so we can listen and enjoy our CDs and have maybe different playlists for holiday or jazz music? And, my first response was, yeah, I think that's probably possible. And then my second thing I mentioned to her was, let me ask him. And so this is the perfect question. And, phones has changed a lot. Usually they had SD cards and, I could update the SD card. And I'm really familiar with getting MP3s off the CDs. But now they don't have SD cards. So I kind of I was Googling and looking around, and we have a lot of the streaming services on our phones, even the satellite version. But we like our CDs, and so I tried some of the cloud providers for storage, Google Drive, OneDrive, and we have the free accounts. So and Google Drive only lets you download one at a time, which doesn't quite work very well. And I reached out to and say, is there and even apps to play the MP3s when they're on their phone. I just didn't run into one that was because they're all usually streaming. And what do you suggest?
You got a couple of ways to do this. And number one, thank you for your kind words. And I'm so glad that I'm part of the husband-wife conversation. That's wonderful.
Definitely.
Thank you for that. Let's go through the different ways. And then this way you can decide which one might be the best for you. Okay? Number one, you can use a music streaming service. You got Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. You can create playlists and share them with others. So you can create a playlist, share the link with your wife, vice versa. She can access the same playlist on her phone. Okay. If you don't want to do that, and by the way, Spotify has a premium version. It costs $10 a month that allows you to sync and share playlists. And so that's going to cost you a little bit for that. All right. Second choice is that you're going to use a third-party app that's available in the Google Play Store. They have names like Tune My Music, it's like MUSCONV, and Music Sync. And you can sync and share playlists for that. You can transfer playlists pretty easily and quickly from one device to the other. You mentioned the cloud storage. There's Google Drive and Dropbox. And then you can share the link, and then she can download it. And then there are these file sharing apps like ShareIt and AirDroid that allow you to share files between devices. You can share a playlist, and she can import it from the phone. So, but I think if you're asking me, the easiest way to do it is probably but you already have these CDs on your, on a drive.
Yes,
and, that might even be something that you want to put a NAS drive in your home, too, a network-attached storage. And so this way you could have all your music there, and then these apps could be able to call out to the NAS and then pull that music from there. So probably you're looking at try Tune My Music or Music Sync. And that's SYNC. I know you know how to spell sync, but just in case, okay? And I think either one of those is probably the way to do it. And if not, then you're probably looking at maybe using something like a Spotify Premium or something along those lines.
Yeah, there's so many apps, and finding what works, and that's where you're really great at spotting those and sharing those ideas.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Mark. Now, one last question.
Okay.
If I took away your most important CD, the one that is the biggest in your collection that you love the most, which CD would that be?
Neil Diamond.
Sweet. Okay, sing it with me. Ready? Sweet Caroline.
Bump, bump,
bump, bump, bump. Okay, now everybody who's listening, Mark, they're going, gosh, I won't be able to get that song out of my head. Thank you. Once again, Mark, try Tune My Music and Music Sync. And again, thank you for your call. And let me tell you, I am no store-bought woman. That's right. I went to a Neil Diamond concert once in Vegas. It was so much fun. So great. Do you ever get the feeling that something or someone's watching you? The truth is that spy devices could be anywhere. Now, there are some tricks to detect hidden cams, but I want to tell you a story. I once rented a house outside Salt Lake City, Utah. And I had this creepy feeling that something was going on. So I went on the TV and I went to the extra channels, way in the 500s, 600s. And that's when I found all these spy cams inside the house. Now, if you're renting a property, there shouldn't be spy cams inside the house, but they say in public areas they may have them. But in the rental descriptions, I want you to make sure that you always read it very carefully, because that's where the hosts are supposed to say whether or not there are cameras inside the house. Now, if you do find cameras inside the house, well, you want to, of course, call the police, because that should not be the case. And what happened with me is that I guess I didn't notice in 8 pitch font on the bottom of the listing. It was like, cameras are located inside the house too, because I never would have rented this place. But thanks to technology, cameras are so small and they're easy to hide. Now, some of the top spots to check: electrical outlets. Yeah, they can have a spy cam inside. Smoke detectors, even television remotes. Yeah, some Roku remotes that are fake, they actually have spy cams built into them. So it's possible to use your phone to spot these cameras. First, you're going to open your phone's camera app and then switch to the front-facing mode and turn off the lights, walk around the room. Now, if you see any white flashes, that could be a hidden camera's infrared light. Now, if things don't still feel right, you want to get an RF detector. I like the one on Amazon. It's called the Anti-Spy Detector. It sells for around $40, and it picks up radio frequencies from devices like wireless cams or audio listening devices. And finally, as I mentioned, make sure you call the police if you find any type of hidden surveillance equipment that has not been disclosed to you. And do me a favor, tell 3 friends about the Kim Komando Show, because every single thing is a tech thing. And let me tell you, knowledge is always power. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise: home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim.
And we're up to hour 2 for the Kim Komando Show podcast. It's the weekend of January 28th, 2023. Enjoy.
I always like to start the show with something interesting, and it never ceases to amaze me what people will buy on eBay. Do you remember the grilled cheese sandwich that looked like the Virgin Mary? Yeah, that sold for $28,000. What? A ghost in a jar sold for $55,000. A piece of gum that Britney Spears chewed, $14,000. Well, now you can add water. Yes, jars of water are being sold on eBay. Not just regular water. I'm talking about water that came from Splash Mountain, the ride at Walt Disney World that is closed for good as of January 23rd. So one seller is listing a small 4-ounce jar of water for $20. A baggie of water has a starting bid of $25. And I also heard that they're also auctioning off the 2 structures that held all the water for the ride. And I was like, well, damn. Get it? Water? Well, oh, I know. Hey, it's the Kim Komando Show. It's the largest show about all things digital, your most trusted source. You can find us on over 420 top stations across the United States. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And you can find us as a podcast, as a webcast 24/7 over at getkim.com. Costs just a few bucks a month. And after that, you get a free 30-day trial. And after that, it costs just a few bucks a month. And don't forget, we always offer a lot of discounts for seniors and service personnel. And really, that's over at getkim.com. And you're also heard on the American Forces Network Radio. And a special thank you goes out to our servicemen and women in the Army, the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force who are protecting our great nation. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder, you can always drop me your question on our website. That's komando.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. All right. Every single day, I visit at least 30 different websites to make sure that I'm up to date on all things digital, and then I can pass along the important stuff to you to save you time and keep you just in the know all the time. And this is part of the show where I like to talk about things that are happening on the web and consumer tech, maybe what you're buying and what you're using. And let's start with this question. What's the most popular game in the entire world right now? Anybody? It's chess. That's right. Chess.com said it had 7 million active members in a single day. That is tremendous traffic in December. It's the most traffic they've ever had. By mid-January, it had 10 million active members a day. So what's going on? How come everybody's hanging out at chess.com? Well, it all comes down to Mittens. That's right. There's this adorable, evil AI cat that's playing chess, and you can play chess with Mittens too, and it's all AI. And Mittens is not a nice player, taunts you throughout the game and says things like, I am inevitable. I am forever. Gaze into that long abyss, sucker. Okay. I'm not sure how a cat has come up with any of these sayings, so don't ask meow, meow, meow. Come on, that was okay. That was all right. I know, that was bad. All right, number 2 on our list, it's not scrap metal, it's scrap MacBooks. What's going on? 2-year-old MacBooks are going up to $3,000, are sold for scrap as in parts. The reason, there's no way to log in and there's no way to factory reset them. What's going on? It's the Apple T2 security chip. Anyone but the original owner seems like they cannot get into the computer. So really bad if you want to resell. But these computer resellers are buying them up just for parts. That doesn't mean that they're going to wipe the data on the parts. So if you have one of these computers, make sure that you wipe it before you actually get rid of it. So what's going on with these Apple MacBooks? Of course, Apple wants you to buy a new MacBook, but you know the old joke. An Apple fan walks into a bar, orders the same drink as yesterday, but pays twice the price. All right, number 3 on our list. Has anyone seen the key to my phone? Has anybody? All right, so cars. We have real keys to unlock our cars. But with the latest iOS update for your iPhone, now you can lock your iPhone and your accounts using a physical security key. A physical security key is a device that looks like a thumb drive, and you have to plug it into something to unlock it. It's basically a car key, but to your device. Now, up until now, all you could do on your iPhone is use, Facial ID and that passcode, right? Not too hard to bypass. I mean, all I have to do is somebody's sleeping, and then you can just point it at their face, and then suddenly you're on their phone. Now, when you're using security keys, you have to use this key in order to sign in with an Apple ID, and you're going to use this on the web or with another device. We have some information about this on the website, so exactly the ones that you should be buying and how it will work. Now, there is one major downside. If you lose your security key, you could be locked out of your device forever, so don't do that. All right, number 4 on our list of 5 things that you need to know is that if you use Facebook Messenger to mess around, you better be listening up, because before this week, Facebook Messenger wasn't end-to-end encrypted. That just means that the company had access to all your messages. No big deal. Thank you, Zuck. Yes, you know him. He's the CEO of Meta, otherwise known as Facebook. So Messenger has changed, and now there's an option. They're calling it Secret Conversations. This means that anything that you say to anyone else, no one else can see, and not even Facebook. Now, using it is super easy. You just open the conversation that you want to make secure. You tap on the person's name on the top of the screen and then select Secret Conversation. Now, you know it's working when you see a lock icon next to that person's name. You can also set a timer for when the messages are going to disappear. You can verify the encryption by scanning a QR code. But remember, no message truly disappears, right? Nothing, right? There's always a copy of it somewhere. Just something to keep in the back of your mind. And finally, this coming in at number 5, has the Xbox gone woke, right? Have you ever updated a game, any game, on your Nintendo, your Xbox, or even your phone? But let's focus on an Xbox update. Now, you know that some updates may be as small as just a few megabytes, while other updates can be several gigabytes. Well, a small update on a fast internet connection may only take a few minutes to download. But this larger updates, wow, sometimes they can take multiple hours. So some people in Washington are saying that the woke brigade wants to take on your Xbox. Okay, let me tell you what's going on. I'm not getting politics here. I'm just telling you what's going on. Microsoft has outlined 2 new changes to Xbox settings on January 11th. One allows the Xbox to pick the time of night for maintenance and updates to use the most renewable energy from the electrical grid, they say, and a shutdown setting that can replace the sleep mode, which they say saves 20 times the energy. Plus, who wants updates downloading and installing when you're trying to play a game or during the day? It's very annoying. Now, if you don't like these settings, you could just change them. But Microsoft is not going woke. It's not what's happening. I mean, maybe these folks just need someone to console them. Yes. All right, coming up in this hour, we're going to tell you how you can get snow and weather alerts and notifications the easy and fun way. And then we've got a great money tip on how you can be getting up like $360 a year in free stuff from your cell provider. Of course, we have our trivia that you don't want to miss. And then later on, some cool ways that you can be using your router that I bet you're not using now. And of course, we have all of your phone calls. And you have me, Kim Komando. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is a way to join us. And let's get this party started with Skeeter in Bellingham, Washington. Hi there, Skeeter.
Well, first of all, I really enjoy listening to your show. So when this problem came up for me that I haven't experienced before, you were the first person I thought about. I have a 13-year-old granddaughter that lives with me. I'm 62, so I'm not real tech savvy. When she had an Android phone, it was pretty easy to use the family thing through my Google account. But now that she has an Apple phone that she was given to her by a relative of Christmas, I'm having a difficult time trying to find a monitoring app that will let my Android phone monitor her Apple phone, or some way for me to be able to monitor and limit screen time, the apps that she looks at, be able to find her location, just the same kind of things I could do on Family Link, I think is what it was called before.
There are a couple out there, and just keep in mind that an iPhone has pretty good parental restrictions.
And do you just do those on her phone?
Yes, you'll do them on her phone, but it doesn't mean that she can't undo them on her phone, right? So we want to make sure that you got something else. There's a program that's been out there for a while. It's called Qustodio. It's Qustodio, Qustodio. It allows you to monitor an iPhone from an Android device. And like you mentioned, it has location tracking. You can see which apps she's using at what time. You can filter what she can search for on the web and things like that. If you really wanted to get like every single keystroke that the girl does, that's where you're going to look at a program called mSpy. You're going to see calls, text messages, photos, videos, social media. I mean, if you want every single thing that she does on the phone, that's when you look at mSpy. But if you're just looking to monitor, see what's going on, that's where Qustodio comes into play. I mean, you can see a lot with Qustodio, but it's not the same thing as mSpy. Now, over at Komando.com, if you go to Komando.com/contract, there's a kids tech contract. It's absolutely free. It's 3 pages, a PDF. And I wrote that so that this way people in your position could sit down with a teenager and go through different things about the phone. Anything from, we're not going to use the phone when we're eating dinner, to, and it's an uncomfortable conversation for a grandfather to have with a granddaughter, I get it, but it's a necessary conversation, is we're not going to send naked pictures of ourselves to anybody, right?
Right.
And if we get a naked picture from somebody or somebody asks us for that, what are we going to do about it? And so it goes through the different things that you want her to be aware of. And then she has to sign the contract, because just having an iPhone she just doesn't have an iPhone because she turned 13. She got an iPhone because you thought she was responsible.
Right.
So we want to make sure that responsibility is there. And I know it's kind of like that poo-poo conversation that nobody wants to have with their kids, but it's one of those necessary things in life right now. So, again, you can find the contract for free over at Komando.com/contract. And let me tell you something. If you are in charge of a school, a church, a synagogue, a civic group, YMCA, whatever it may be, that contract is free to use and it's free to distribute. And so I would like to have every kid under the age of 16 in the United States sign that contract. So help me out. Again, you can get it for free at Komando.com/contract. And let's see who's up next. Jerry in Modesto, California. Hi there, Jerry.
Well, my wife and I were looking for a laptop. It's time to upgrade hers. And friends of mine were telling me, you want to stay away from kind of the lower-end stores, the Walmart, the Target, and stuff like that, only because specific computers were designed for those stores, and you're not going to get the higher end. You might get the lower processing speed, less RAM, and stuff like that. And so I said, all right, I'll look into Best Buy and other stores like Costco like that. But is there any truth to that statement that computer manufacturers and printers and stuff like that, when they make something special for these stores, they're at the lower end of the scale, you might say?
There may be some truth to that. It's not uncommon for computer manufacturers to make different versions of their products called store-specific SKUs that are only going to be sold into Walmart, only into Target, because the retailers themselves are looking for ways to distinguish themselves between each other and also what? The almighty Amazon. And so it may not be inferior, it just may be different. And so it may be instead of you having, say 8 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of RAM, whatever it may be, that maybe you have more or you have less. It may be the speed of the RAM may be different. But I will tell you one thing that I do know is that when you buy anything, because you mentioned Costco, when you buy anything at Costco demands that those manufacturers give them something better. You just notice the word better than what that consumer can get anywhere else. So Costco does demand that of anybody who sells into their stores. Now, that said, maybe you don't need the attachments, right? Maybe you don't need that extra, whatever they're throwing in. And in addition to that, some of these store-specific SKUs, that they may be loaded with what we call bloatware. And bloatware are the programs, you know what I'm talking about then, because you said exactly, right? It's going to be loaded with that junk. And then you're going to be like, oh my gosh. And it's interesting because technology is changing. Like, for example, let's talk about TVs, Vizio TVs, cheap TVs, right? Okay. Yep. If you want a cheap TV, you're going to buy a Vizio. Well, the reason why they're so cheap is that they do a lot of data tracking. The company actually makes more money tracking everybody who's watching their TVs and what they watch and the demographics and all that other stuff than they actually make selling TVs.
Oh.
So when these laptops are loaded with bloatware, they're making money on maybe the tracking, maybe if you need to buy this AV program, the security program, whatever they're trying to pitch to you, they may be making, the manufacturer's making a piece of the action. So, it's pretty particular, but I will tell you, if you are looking for a laptop, over at Komando.com, we have something called the Laptop Finder Quiz. And you just type in your requirements and you answer a few questions, and then we recommend a laptop for you. Because we've already done the research. So if you hang on the line, we're going to give you the exact address for the Laptop Finder Quiz. And for everybody else, just go to Komando.com and in the search box, type in Laptop Finder Quiz or Laptop Quiz, and then just take it. You answer like 3 or 4 questions, and our IT geniuses, they keep that updated continuously. And it will recommend your specific laptop based on how you're going to use it, what you're looking for, and how much, of course, money you've got budgeted for it. Jerry, thank you for your call. Okay, always remember the most popular chip used in laptops is the Intel Core series of processors. All right, moments away from our trivia that you'd never ever want to miss. And this week it's a little bit tough. And also our money tip about how you could be getting $360 a year in free stuff from your cell provider. And of course, we have more of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, it's time now to play the game that I like to call Commanding the Tech World Trivia. Notice that? Just a little play on commando. And this week it's brought to you by Total AV. We've all seen how the world has changed because of tech. But do you really know the backstories, the insider secrets that make this digitally connected world just go round and round? Like this. Windows XP. And I know there are some listeners right now saying, Kim, I love Windows XP. I'm never giving it up. Okay, released in what year? 2001. And then support was supposed to end in 2009. And then finally, they just pulled the plug in 2014. But here's the trivia question. How many different major versions of Windows has Microsoft released? How many different versions? Drum roll, please. It's 10. That's right. Windows 1, 3.1, 95, XP, Vista, 7, 8, 8.1, 10, and 11. So when playing Commanding the Tech World Trivia, you need to really think outside of the box. And joining us this week as our very special guest contestant is Don in Augusta, Maine. Hello there, Don. Glad to have you with us.
Hello, Kim. Well, thank you. It's great to be here. I love your show. Long-time listener.
Well, appreciate that, Don. Now, let me tell you, there's a big prize if you can guess the trivia. It's the official Kim Komando Show fanny pack. Ooh, are you ready to play?
Hey, ready. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so this one's about Apple Computer. And it was founded in 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. And they were actually friends who met when they were working at Atari. You remember Atari. It was that popular video game company, right?
Right.
Now, Wozniak was the engineer and the computer hobbyist, and he designed what he called the Apple I. And then Jobs saw potential in this design. He said, hey, you know what? We ought to start a company so we can sell these computers. So I'm going to give you 4 statements. And now, which of the following statements is true about Apple? Okay, Don, you got to pay close attention.
Okay.
A, they named the company Apple because it was Steve Jobs' favorite fruit. He just ate apples all the time. B, when they were working on the first Apple computer, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, they got into a fist fight over whose name should be first on the patent. Or C, Steve Jobs always wore turtlenecks because he had this nasty scar on his neck and he didn't want anybody to see it. Or is it D, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak had a third partner who quit because he just said Apple Computer would never amount to anything. So, which of these following statements are true? A, it was named Apple because it was Steve Jobs' favorite fruit. B, Jobs and Wozniak got into a fist fight. C, Steve Jobs wore turtlenecks because he had this nasty scar on his neck. Or D, there was a third partner who didn't believe in the company.
How about the favorite fruit?
You're going to go with A, or the favorite fruit. Apple was named because it was Steve Jobs' favorite fruit. Let's go to the judges. Let's see what they say.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Oh, that did not sound good at all. This is a really interesting story. The third partner, there was a third partner. His name was Ronald Wayne. Now listen, get a load of this, Don.
Wow.
He sold his 10% stake in Apple for $800 in 1976, only 12 days after putting the partnership together. They were partners less than 2 weeks. And he's like, I'm out of here. I don't think this is going to amount to anything. It's a total waste of time, effort, and energy. Now, here's the kicker, Don. If he would have saved his 10% and went with the company, okay, if he kept that, he would be worth around $200 billion today.
Wow.
Could you imagine? Don't you think he's kicking himself at all? I mean, really, seriously. I mean, now, when asked if he had any regrets, he said, this was his quote, Don, he said, not really. It allows me to live a normal life. Okay.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go try to find $200 billion in the couch. It's just not going to happen. Okay?
No, not in my couch.
Not at all. So, hey, listen. So I know you have a question for me. How can I lend a hand?
Okay, so I'm a retired teacher, and one of my hobbies, and I did it for a job for a little bit on the side, was videography and editing. So I was putting all of I set up a YouTube channel originally in 2010, and I don't have access to it anymore, and I don't know exactly what happened. I can watch it, but I can't log on to it. And so I kind of gave up on it, and I thought maybe it has something to do when Google bought out YouTube years ago. And I'm not sure that's it, but now I've got another account, which I linked to the old account, so I can keep looking at the videos. But I really would like to be able – I got over 40 videos on there from highlights from weddings and shows and different things that I've done, and I'd like to be able to –
Sure, and you want to get your videos back. You want to get them, have control of those videos, right?
Exactly.
Instead of just being a viewer, you want to get in there and say, hey, these bad boys are mine. Okay.
Exactly.
And so, I wish I had a magical wand, Don, that I could just say, poof, Don gets all of your videos back. This is fabulous. But unfortunately, that's not the case. But I can tell you 3 things that you can try.
Great.
Number one is that you go to the YouTube sign-in page, and then there's always this forget your password. And that's where they're going to reset the password to your email address or your phone number that is associated with that account. Okay. Now, if that doesn't work, then the YouTube account might be tied to your Google account. And then you can try to recover it through Google they have something called the Google account recovery page. And 3, and I know this is really a horrible, horrible thought, but you can try to contact YouTube support. I know they're going to ask you to provide information to confirm your identity, help you regain access to your account. But, they keep these accounts locked down for a reason, so that this way, if you had a YouTube account and somebody was able to have access to it and just upload who knows what kind of videos that might be out there, that might be really detrimental for you and your brand. And so that's why they make you go through a whole bunch of hoops to get their accounts back. So you got 3 ways. Number 1, hit that forget password feature. 2, try to recover it through your Google account, and that's in the Google account recovery page. Or 3, contact YouTube support for any help. Now, if you strike out in all 3 places, Don, okay, we are not going to give up. So if you try all 3 and it doesn't work, just shoot us an email back, and we'll see if there's something that we can do to maybe get that account back for you. And I'm sorry you didn't win the official Kim Komando Show fanny pack, but you're always a winner in our book because you got through, and we had a great conversation. Okay, here's a little fun fact for you. What is the most watched video on YouTube ever? The most watched YouTube video ever I'm talking about. Well, it's Baby Shark Dance, and it has over 9.5 billion views. Wow, isn't that crazy? All right, you may not know this, but most of the major phone carriers are throwing in free limited time or permanent subscriptions to streaming services and some other goodies. But you have to know that they're there in order to get the freebies. So let's go through a few. Verizon. Under the 5G Start and 5G Do More plan, you actually get 6 months of the following: Disney Plus, Discovery Plus, Apple Arcade, or Google Play Pass. And you also get about $100 worth of free streaming services. Really good stuff. The next year, you get Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus. And this is about $140 worth of free streaming services, along with $150 of music and TV the first 6 months. Now, T-Mobile, they have the Essential plan. You get Paramount Plus for 1 year, which is normally $50. The Magenta plan, you're actually going to get Netflix too. Magenta Max, with Magenta Max, you're going to get $50 on Paramount Plus, but $270 between Netflix and Apple TV Plus. And then, of course, there's Sprint and AT&T. And if you're wondering what freebies may be available for your particular carrier, we have it all outlined for you. Just head over to Komando.com, and there at the top of the page, there's a link that says Kim Show. That's where you have it all spelled out for you. But if you're not getting those freebies from your carrier, come on, you're missing out. And you don't need to be paying for Netflix. You could be getting it free. And we all love free stuff. So make sure that you check out this money tip. And if you can save some money, make sure that you spread the wealth. Share this tip with your family members and friends too. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls and your router. Yes, you may not have thought about this, but it can do more than just deliver the Wi-Fi out to your house. And we got more of your phone calls, and we have more of me, Kim Komando, coming right up. Hey, if you haven't dipped your toe into the podcast world, what are you waiting for? Make sure that you get our daily tech update, because every single day I do one big news story and I give you one great digital life hack and trick that you're going to use time and time again. So wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K, of course. All right, back to the phones we go with John. Hello there, John.
Hey, Kim, how are you doing?
I'm great. Super duper. Glad you called. What's going on?
Just a long-time listener, and really appreciate your show. You have a lot of great, easy insight. A lot of times you can dumb down for us over here and makes it easy. I got a lot of things. Well, my wife had been taking care of a lot of the IT type stuff. And again, you may have heard or read that my daughter had been at St. Jude, and they've been for 7 months now. They're just getting back. So I want to try to take some of the burden off of her trying to keep our IT straight. So one of the things was passwords, of course, and either a password manager or something, because we're always asking her for the password when we need something. Or if our phones, we get new phones, you got to go back into all the apps to re-sign in. And so I've been trying to figure out how to keep up with that without using like a spreadsheet, because once you do that, you put it on the computer, people can hack it and such. So that's one type of thing to keep up with. The second thing was the security part about shopping and banking, that I'd heard a few weeks back or whatever, you were talking about using a guest network, which prevents, I guess, you from going to the major. And should you just sign the Ring doorbell, the Sonos speakers, the Hue light bulbs, or whatever other smart devices we have? Right. What's your thought?
Yeah, let's start at the beginning, okay? Number one, I'm sure you're thrilled that your wife and your daughter is coming back after being away from home for so long, and I hope that
oh my God,
she has continued good health, right? And our prayers are with you.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Your wife must be just an amazing woman. I'm sure she is.
She is
for taking all that on. All right, and you're a great guy because you're gonna take your reins right now, and so you're right. You need a good password manager. And what's nice is that it's all encrypted. You can share passwords, and you don't have to worry about remembering all the passwords because it's just going to fill it in for you automatically. You just have to remember one master password, which I know you can do this. And if you go to roboforum.com/Kim, they're a sponsor of the show, and that's the program that we use and recommend. And again, that's roboforum.com/Kim. You're going to save 50%.
Got it.
All right. Now, the whole idea behind a guest network is that you're going to put all your Internet of Things devices onto the guest network and then keep all your banking and your important stuff on the main network, because the Internet of Things is not exactly the most secure. As a matter of fact, it's hardly any security right now. And so if the whole idea is that if somebody can hack into it and break into it, they're going to get into the guest network and they're not going to get into your really important stuff that's on the main network. And so that's the gist of why you might want to set up a guest network. Now, you talked about the Ring doorbell, and what did you say, the Hue lights?
Yeah, Hue lights, right, Sonos speakers.
Yeah, and Sonos speakers. Is the big thing here is always change the default username and password, and you want to make sure that you always get the software and any type of firmware updates that may be involved, and set up some two-factor authentication. I mean, this is a really big undertaking if you want to go from A to Z. Okay, so we're just going to take it. We're going to take it like in small chunks, okay? Because we don't want you to be overwhelmed. It's kind of like sometimes when you go to the restaurant and they've got like way too many things on the menu, and you're like, I don't even know what I want anymore. Okay, I came in for a bowl of French onion soup. Okay, so
yeah, I want to drink a bottle of wine. I'm good.
That's it. That's fine. We just need one bottle. As long as it's wet, we're good. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start with just getting your passwords under control, okay? Because it's a secure way to manage all your passwords. And I said they have apps for all the major platforms. And, at some point we're going to talk about biometrics, but we're not there yet. And so set up with roboforum.com/Kim. Again, you're going to get 50% off. And then take it to the next step. Make sure all your Internet of Things stuff that you're not using the default passwords, and and make sure you get those firmware updates, because it's not like the companies are going to call you up and say, "Hey, John, thanks for being a loyal customer because we got a lot of firmware updates you need to know about." No. And if you need any help on any of this, just keep in mind you can always just search the website at komando.com or give me a call back, because I'm always here to help. And John, thank you for your call. This is a great point. I mean, John, who just called, he was feeling so overwhelmed. He didn't know where to begin. And so he called me, and then we sorted things out in just a few minutes. So anytime you're feeling overwhelmed about something digital, I want you to make sure that you always remember that you can call me. You can drop me your email. And the easiest way to do that, it's a little old school. Don't put it on social media. I want it on the website, because that gives me a great way to just really focus on them all, is head over to komando.com. And in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim. Hey, I just want to remind you that if you have not already entered to win the $500 gift card over at komando.com, it's only open for just a few more days for entry. So head over to komando.com/win. Once again, that's komando.com/win. All right. Have you ever looked at the back of your router and thought, I wonder what these USB ports are good for. Well, here are 3 ways that you can use it, and your family's going to be like, oh my gosh, you are so smart. Okay, number 1. What you can do is start saving files on a special drive inside your house instead of putting everything inside the cloud, and then people can share it within the family member just within the house. So you get an external hard drive and NAS, and you just connect it up to it. Number 2 is that you can take this shareable drive to the next level. You can put a USB drive in your router's port and turn it into a bona fide media server. So everyone in the house, everyone in your network can save photos, music, or videos on that drive. And then all that content is accessible on any device or any TV that's connected to the network. Now, if you're going to be sharing a ton of stuff, plug an external drive into your router's USB port. Just make sure that you back it all up to the cloud because, your luck may be like mine and then suddenly it's just gone. And finally, number 3, let's say you have an old printer that needs to be physically connected to a computer in order for it to have it work. Just plug that old printer into your router's USB port, and now you have a printer on the network that every single person can use. See, these are some great tips that you get in our podcast, by the way. That's our daily tech update. Just search for Komando with a K. And speaking of, make sure that you tell 3 friends about the Kim Komando Show because every single thing is a tech thing, and knowledge is always power.
You're listening to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of January 28th, 2023. Here now, it's hour 3.
I always like to start with something interesting, and let's talk about Amazon. They have a new data collection trick up their sleeve. What you do is wherever you go buy something offline in another store, you open up your Alexa app, and then you scan the receipt. And in return, you can get some money back on an Amazon gift card. So you're thinking like, oh, Amazon, they're always looking out for us. Aren't they so nice? Okay. What's really happening is that in the background, Amazon is collecting all the data of what you're buying not on Amazon and thinking like, I wonder if we could sell that on Amazon too. And speaking of, I don't know if you heard, but Amazon has a new service where they can deliver custom suits in 48 hours. They call it Taylor Swift. All right, it's the Kim Komando Show. It's the largest show, the most trusted source about all things digital. And you're about ready to get some more tech smarts. And if you are a regular listener, welcome back. And if you're a brand new listener, we're so glad that you're here. You can find my award-winning show on over 425 top stations from coast to coast. And we're streaming also in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And we're streaming as a podcast, as a webcast 24/7 over at getkim.com. And a special thank you goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio. Our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. All right, every single day I visit at least 30 different websites. I talk to my friends, the industry insiders, to make sure that I know what's going on in the entire tech universe. And this is part of the show where I like to talk about numbers. And then what's behind the numbers? What do the numbers really mean? And the first number is 123%. 123% increase. There's a clue for you. So what's going on? Google and Apple Maps are really handy. But what happens when you're out of cell coverage? Okay, you can have an offline map, but most people don't do that. What if your phone battery dies? Then you're totally lost. But paper maps are coming back. AAA says that it has produced 123% more maps in 2022 versus 2021. And why is that? Well, get this, the millennials, right? And the Gen Zers, they're saying, listen, we don't always want to look at our screens. We want to be able to look at the scenery. And the digital maps, they will often take you on the quickest route, and it's not always the most scenic route. Yes. Did you know that Google Maps can work backwards? I don't know if you know this. It always gets caught in the spam filter. Get it? Maps, backwards, spam. Ooh, I know, it's tough. Okay. Number 2 on our list. 50% of us don't connect our smart appliances to the network. Why is that? I'm talking about your smart fridge, your smart coffee pot, your smart washer and dryer, whatever it is. There's a new survey out that says half of us don't even connect it up, even though it's really smart. So what's the reasoning behind it? Number 1, it takes time. Maybe you have to remember your Wi-Fi password and you don't want to have to look it up in your keychain. Number 2, do we really need to have our smart coffee pot connected to the internet? What's the real reason? How is that really going to help us? And then finally, number 3, it's all the data, right? They're all tracking. They're keeping track of everything that we're doing. I'm talking about big tech, whoever it is. And of course, there are pluses. You can monitor your energy usage. You can see if there's coffee in the pot. You can sit in your bed and then make the coffee pot go whatever it wants to do. You know, one thing I never understood, though, is that the smart crock pot. Okay, why do we need a smart crock pot? I mean, what do? You plug it in, you throw in some chicken and some salsa, you let it go for 6 hours, and then you just take it out. I mean, that's smart. I don't think we need that. Number 3 on our list is 38%, right? 38% of people say that they're just too attached to their phone, and they are now acknowledging it. New survey out says that if you were in the middle of a disaster, what was the one thing that you had make sure that you were taking? I'm talking about a flood, a fire, earthquake. You're going to grab your smartphone. You're just going to do that because basically, you know, your smartphone has your whole life on it. So you're going to do that. There was another little stat in the survey kind of hidden down that I took a look at. 44% of people would give up intimate time with their partner if they couldn't have their phone nearby. Let that sink in for just a moment. 44%. Sorry, honey, not tonight. I left my phone in the other room. I need to go get it. Yes. Number 4 on our list, 1 million password thieves. That's right. Netflix is out and they're saying, we are going to pull the plug. And so if you're sharing an account with somebody and you make sure that they know that after March, they're going to have to start paying up. And Netflix says that they fell into some hard times. We had the biggest subscriber loss ever. More than 200,000 subscribers gave it up in just one quarter. And so now everybody's getting punished. We all are. It's not because they overspend on all this programming that nobody ever wants to watch. So if you still want your account, even though you share a password, you have to transfer to a paid account. You know, but I always think about Netflix. Just go back in time with me for, say, 15 years. And you're sitting around and your significant other looks at you and says, hey, honey, why don't we watch a 10-hour movie this weekend? You'd be like, a 10-hour movie? Really? A 10-hour movie? But we're going to break it up into 10 episodes. And you're like, oh, yeah, it was just 10 episodes. And of course, I'm in. People just sit on the couch and they watch 10 hours of movies. Not so. And finally, this at number 5, where were you 36 years ago? 36 years ago. Because just about 4 decades ago, Apple released its very first Mac. And think about how far computing has changed since that time. Yes, it was all with Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. And the Mac was different because it didn't have that Windows look about it. It looked happy. It looked friendly. It had this graphical user interface that Windows later copied. And Steve Jobs and the rest of the folks at Apple, they only made 70,000 of those Macs. And they were expensive at the time, like $2,500. And by May, they were sold out in just 5 months. And now we have Apple, this big company, what it is today. Can you guess how many iPhones have been sold in the last year? Anybody? 2.2 billion as of the last year. Wow. Isn't that crazy? Steve Jobs, I don't know if you remember that. He wore the same outfit every single day. A black turtleneck, jeans, and sneakers. Because he said this way he could just look in his closet and he'd have to decide what to wear for the day. How easy is that? And you know what his favorite meal was? What was Steve Jobs' favorite meal? Anybody? A Big Mac. Get it? All right. Coming up in just a few moments, we're going to have a great tip about how you can get subtitles and captions on whatever that you're watching. We're going to talk about how you can digitize your most important documents, the best TV settings for the big game, and of course, we have more of your phone calls coming up here on The Kim Komando Show. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just want to tell you a couple of things about the website. Number one, we have a $500 giveaway that's ending soon. So if you have not already entered to win that $500 Amazon gift card, make sure that you do it now. I don't want you to miss out. Komando.com/win. Once again, that's Komando.com/win. And when you do enter, make sure that you pay attention to the second page because that's where you can get additional entries just for liking us on social media or subscribing to a podcast or a newsletter. So again, that address is Komando.com/win. Hey, and while you're there on the website, be sure that you get our newsletters. If you haven't already gotten them, head over to komando.com/subscribe, and that's where you can pick and choose the newsletters that you want. They're all free. You can join hundreds and thousands of people who are already getting our newsletters every single day. Every single day, over 300,000 people get our newsletters, and you should be getting them too. Head over to komando.com/subscribe. All right, John in Mesa, Arizona, you're up first.
Hi, Kim. I really appreciate you taking my call. I've been an active listener since 1995.
Wow.
And get a couple of your daily newsletters.
So in 1995, you were listening on KFYI then?
Well, actually, I was in Oregon.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know where. I was trying to remember how I got you, but I remember getting my first computer and ending up with your radio show, and I have no idea. It could have come out of Medford or Portland or Sacramento or
you know what, Portland, Medford, Sacramento, which is really great that in the beginning we only had a few affiliates because people were like, a woman talking about computers on a radio?
A technical woman?
Yeah, it's like, what was up with that? Yeah. And then, so here we are today, which is fabulous, really great. So, hey, I'm so glad you've been with me for all the years, and I'm sure you have a question. What can I help you with?
Well, I have a financial services business. It's insurance, annuities, disability. And basically, I help clients make sure they'll make it to age 100 without running out of money. And I do that by managing their taxes, utilizing Roth IRAs, 401ks, withdrawal orders of their funds, and so on. And I have a website that I just moved to GoDaddy. One of my IMOs that I run my business through set the website up originally, and I've never gotten a hit off the website. And I'd like to be able to generate some business and increase the credibility to my clients. I really have something,
Well, so here's a couple of things that you need to do. Okay, you sent me an email, and I looked at your website.
Okay.
It's not a bad website. It isn't. And you're a handsome guy. Is that your wife next to you?
Yes.
Elaine? Is she working the place too?
Yeah, we run our business together.
That's awesome. Okay, so the problem is, number one, with the website is that it's not mobile responsive.
Okay.
And so we need to make sure that that's mobile responsive. I'm going to give you a to-do list, okay?
Okay.
And so we're going to make sure that site is mobile responsive. And there are ways that you can see what your website looks like on different devices and different platforms.
Okay.
One is called Browser Stack, and another one is called Cross-Browser Testing. And so it will simulate and will show you what your website looks like in all these different platforms. And I bet you'd be surprised what it looks like. Number two is that I want you to claim your business on Google Maps. And this way you will be searchable inside Google directories. But in order for you to really get searchable is that you need to have a lot of Google reviews. So what I want you to do is to reach out to your customers and say, listen, I'm going to send you a link. Could you do me a favor and leave me a nice 5-star Google review? And I know it sounds like you're begging, but that's okay because we want you to make sure that you get to the top of the list, okay? Once you fix the website and you fix your Google business listing, that's when we can start talking about you putting up articles on Facebook and on LinkedIn, talking about the 5 mistakes that people make when planning for their retirement. That would be a great headline.
Okay. Matter of fact, I have that.
Okay, great. And so you're going to start building your credibility. And so once you start building your credibility, that's when you can, in your byline or tagline, whatever it may be, you say, hey, I am John in Mesa, give you a free consultation, 30-minute consultation. But you also have all these testimonials that people left in the Google reviews, so you can start using those in your paid advertising. So, but before we can get to the paid advertising, we got to fix the website. We got to get some decent reviews, claim your business also on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And if you're so inclined, Twitter, but I really think we're looking at Facebook and especially LinkedIn. And then on LinkedIn, you can also start asking for reviews, and you can also start posting some original content on LinkedIn that people will respond to. And you have to ask people sometimes to respond. Hey, what do you think? Is there anything I missed? And then people write back, oh, no, John, you are like smart as a whip. You know everything about all this. So start with plan one. And then as you get this done, I want you to call me back. Don't be a stranger. I mean, gosh, we've been together for how long, John? And this is the first time we've actually spoken. Gosh, some men are so difficult to get to. Hey, John, thank you for your call. I'm always here for you, buddy. Hey, by the way, to get your business listed on Google, this is the place where you start. Google.com/business. That's Google.com/business. And back to the phones we go with Carl in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Hello, how are you doing, Kim?
Fantastic. How can I help you?
Yeah, I was going through some drawers and stuff around the house, and I discovered I've got hard drives and stuff. I've been in electronics for a long time. My first computer was an 8-bit processor. It was a Commodore PET.
Wow.
But I've got some hard drives and a couple other things I'd like to destroy before I throw them out.
Right.
I've heard of people doing all kinds of things, but I have no clue how I want to do it. I'd like to find me one of those grinders and grind it all up, but that's not going to happen.
You can use a grinder, and but I'll tell you, if there's a hard drive that I want to destroy, I'm talking about I really want the data to be gone for good. Is that you have to shatter the platters, okay? And you got to take a hammer to it, and you just keep going until that thing is all to shreds. I mean, you can use there's D-band and there's eraser. If you can still, if these are hard drives that you can actually put into an enclosure and a USB enclosure and then plug it into a computer so you can use a utility to wipe the drives, you can do that. But if it's truly like financial sensitive data, I know it sounds crazy, but I will give a computer away to somebody with enough money that they can go buy a new hard drive. If the computer still is in working order. Again, the utilities are called eraser and D-band, but there's nothing like a good old hammer to get your frustrations out and to destroy the older hard drives for good. And thank you for your call today, sir. All right, here's a handy tip that you're going to use time and time again. When the dialogue in a movie or show is just hard to understand, it's super handy to turn on the captions. This way, you can read along with what's being said. Here's how to make that magic happen. So no matter what device you're using, the option to turn on captioning is somewhere located in the accessibility settings. Now, these features are designed to help people with disabilities use technology more easily. So like, for example, a text-to-speech feature reads text aloud for people with limited vision. A speech recognition feature allows people with limited mobility to control a computer with their voice. So on your device, look inside the accessibility settings and find live captions. Once it's turned on, whenever speech is detected, you're going to see the text written out right in the center of your device's screen. See, isn't that fabulous? All right, coming up, we have more of your phone calls and more tips that you don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, coming up in just a few moments, how to digitize your most important documents the easy and fun way. And then later on, I want to make sure that you have the best TV settings for the big game. And joining us right now is Ali Seligman. She's our amazing content queen. Hello there, Ali.
Hi, Kim.
So we've all seen the photos. These celebrities on Instagram, they all look just perfect. Now, in our world, except for when you and I are doing the show, we don't always look that good. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've got an inkling. Our weekday look, we'll call it.
I know. Was it Monday? Was it this week, Monday, or another Monday? You looked at me and we were on a Zoom call. You're like, is it makeup Monday? Or why are you all like dolled up? I'm like, I don't know.
Why'd you do your hair?
Yes.
What's happening?
We don't have the hair on the top of our head in that big bun that's going on. So you have put together a list of ways that people can look at something and say, or look at someone rather and say, is it really Kim Kardashian or is it Kim Kardashian Photoshopped? Which, let me tell you, this whole Kim Kardashian thing is so annoying to me because let me tell you what happens. I'm in like Google or Word and I type in Kim and it wants to when I type in a K, for Commando? It was like, oh, you must be Kim Kardashian. You must be right. I'm like, no, it's Kim Commando. Okay.
So we need to file a formal complaint with
there should be.
Microsoft for that one.
I think I will do that. So what's the big thing, like when we're looking at a picture of somebody online, and maybe it's not even a celebrity, maybe it's just somebody that we think we want to go out with. What's like a big thing that we want to look out for?
Look for inconsistencies. So sometimes that means you see a picture of someone and you think, I've seen you many, many times. You don't look like that. One really good example of this, the model Gigi Hadid, she is gorgeous. There's this picture, she's on a magazine cover and she has a bikini top on. Well, Gigi has moles all over her stomach. Not in this photo. Completely smooth. And people notice these things, right? Immediately people say, wait. You took those away. How else did you Photoshop this picture? Another one, of course, flawless skin. And I don't mean you slapped on a filter and you look a little better. I mean Photoshopped in the way where you don't look like yourself anymore. You look maybe decades younger. A really funny example of this, speaking of the Kardashians, Kris Jenner, she wrote a cookbook. This was years ago. And she took a photo. She was celebrating the release of this. So she took a photo with Gordon Ramsay. They both posted the same photo, except hers was very, very photoshopped.
Oh, you're kidding. Busted.
Yeah. And can you guess what she did?
No. What?
She got rid of every single wrinkle on her face.
Okay. Well, you have to leave a few. I mean, one or two.
Right? Make them a little believable. Even, teenagers, your face creases in certain ways. So when it looks just like a mask, yeah, way too far. This one always makes me laugh every time I see it. Look at the fingers and the hands, because sometimes people don't notice when they're photoshopping something. Maybe they're trying to give someone a really slim waist. Why is their hand missing a finger? Or why is there an extra finger? These things actually happen. There's a magazine cover where Avril Lavigne was on the cover, and this is kind of in the same vein where limbs get really stretched out, right? To make you look at how skinny her arm is. Except her arm, I kid you not, it's like the circumference of a wrist. It's just, it's so tiny in this way that's like, ooh, bad Photoshop.
Now, speaking of the arms, I've heard that celebrities will Photoshop their armpit hair.
To get rid of it?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, so like, even if it's like stubble. So if you see under their arms and it's as smooth as their face, then that might be another clue.
Yes. If you were thinking, wait, why are my armpits never that smooth? It's because it's Photoshop. That's not real life.
Yeah.
That's not real life. Another finger one, Ariana Grande was on a magazine cover. Her thumb, seriously, it was like the length of two thumbs. It was so long because they had stretched, right? They had stretched her arm. Check the comments. If you look at a photo and you think like, you know what, this looks a little off to me. There are so many people, I swear it's like their existence in life, to point out photos on the internet and say, this is really Photoshop. So honestly, look at the comments. Khloe Kardashian, again, of course, we're going to come back to the Kardashians. She shared a photo. This was a few years ago. And the caption was like, old photo, but I really like it. All the comments were like, Khloe, this is a completely different face. This is not your face. What is happening here?
Well, I mean, all of them, if you ever look at the before and after. I mean, Kim Kardashian, she's beautiful. She's stunning.
Stunning.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was really pretty back in the day, too. I mean, we didn't have to have like this metamorphosis going on. I mean, but speaking of the photos, that if someone ever emails you a photo, what you can always do is open up that photo and look at the metadata. I mean, if you want to get really like for computer forensics, and then it will actually include any type of mentions of the software or any editing that may be done to that photo. So that's another like little clue that you can know.
Yeah, that's a good one. A lot of the ones I gave, right, are these really obvious signs of big Photoshop job kind of gone wrong. There are a lot more subtle things you can look for if you are so inclined. Look at the background. Is there anything weird? Are the edges of the objects in the background either really, really sharp or really blurry?
Yeah, that's a really great point. You're right. Because if it just, and the other thing is like, if it just doesn't feel right? I mean, like you mentioned, like, you see like the big fingers and the long fingers and the skinny arms, and It's like, okay.
And sometimes it's really interesting. Your brain can kind of process that something is not right, even if you couldn't say out loud exactly what it was. Sometimes it's things like the lighting is off, the shadows are off, and you can't really, you wouldn't think to say, oh, this shadow should actually be over here. You're just going to feel like, oh, wait, this picture is weird. What's happening? Your brain recognizes, what's natural and what's not. So, that's always your clue. In this case, maybe you're, I don't know, online dating. You're going to meet someone and you think, oh my gosh, they look perfect in every one of these pictures.
Yes.
Is this real life?
Yes, it's not. It's not. There's that picture of me. I don't want to say what it is that I hate. Yeah, that person that worked for. I mean, she photoed. That doesn't even look like me.
It does not look like you. No. Again, this is like that mask look that we talked about, right? When you take away all the subtleties of a person's face and it just looks like, and
it still pops, and that picture still pops up from time to time. I'm like, make it go away off the internet. It just won't do it. It's like that bikini photo, one of the Kardashians, poor girl, I don't even know which sister it was, and she put a picture of herself in the bikini and the whole family was like, ooh, you better take that down.
Once it's on the internet, it's not going away. We have to, of course, end on one more Kardashians note. Kim Kardashian, the internet has been losing its mind because she went and spoke at the Harvard Business School. Of course, there are all the people saying, this is ridiculous. What happened to Harvard? Where are its standards? What do you think, Kim? Good idea? Bad idea?
I think it's a great idea. I think when you look at the business that she has created, let's put it off to the side how she got it started with the porno tape, got her a lot of attention. But if you look where she took that and where she is today she's worth what, $1 billion?
Oh yeah, I think too. She was talking about she has a shapewear company. So it's bras and underwear and things to make you look better under your clothes. This company is worth $3 billion.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know it was worth that much.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Yeah. No. So, I think good idea. But, we're always willing to have a little debate. So, come let Kim know on Twitter what you think.
Yes, exactly. Oh, my God. I don't know if we want to do that, Allie. I mean, ever since, I have to tell you.
Kim Komando.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about not the I'm Kim Komando. The real quick, is that when we did the Kim Komando Today Friday podcast, we talked about how you can make money online selling pictures of your feet. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have people like on social emailing me. I got a letter in the mail today with a self-addressed envelope saying, please send me a picture of your feet. Okay.
Give the people what they want. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, we're not going there.
No.
Allie, great job as always. And she's our amazing content queen. So she's in charge of all things content over at Komando.com. She does such a fabulous, fabulous job. Allie, thanks for joining us. All right. What I want you to do is to gather up your most important documents. And then I want you to make sure that you have a copy of them off-site and backed up. But first you have to think about which documents are going to be the most important. Just come to mind like you have your passport, you have your driver's license, maybe some wills and trusts, maybe some other documents, some partnership agreements, whatever it may be. Get your most important documents and gather them up. And then you want to be able to scan them. A couple of ways you can scan them is you can obviously just go buy a scanner. The Epson EcoTank line of scanners, one of our sponsors, really great scanner, one of the fastest scanners in the business. Also has multi-page document feeding, which is great. So you just put all those into the scanner, scans it automatically. It's the EcoTank ET4760 is the one that you want to look at. Now, if you don't want to buy a scanner, you can use an app. There's Adobe Scan. Puts it all into a PDF. There's also another app called Genius Scan. And if you're on an iPhone, you have, of course, the Notes app that is a scanner. It works out really well. So where are you going to put all these digital documents? Well, of course, you can put them on your hard drive. Make sure they're all encrypted, by the way. The files are saved that way, so nobody can just open them up and password protect it. But the most secure way is to make sure that you have a copy of them off-site and online, and that's where iDrive comes into play. And if you want to learn more about this, we have the tip posted over on the website. What you want to do is just search for scanning my most important documents into the search bar, and this app will pop right up for you. All right, coming up, we have more of your phone calls as well as the best TV settings for the big game. And of course, you have more of me, Kim Komando. Hey, just a quick reminder, if you're not already getting our podcasts, make sure that you do that. So wherever you get your podcasts, just search for Komando with a K. And we have Kim Komando today. That's Monday through Friday. And every single day, Saturday and Sunday, we also have our daily tech updates. 7 days a week, you get one news story and one digital life hack or tip, trick, or secret that you use time and time again. And again, that's Komando with a K, wherever you get your podcasts. Mary in Bryan, Texas, you're up next. Hello there, Mary.
Howdy, Kim. I'm new to your whole world. I heard you on the radio, and I went online, and I've done a bunch of stuff that you've recommended, and you are absolutely awesome. The way you put the directions to correct something is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Oh, thank you, Mary. That's kind. We appreciate that.
Having a problem with TikTok.
Okay.
With all that's in the news about security, I deleted it off my app because my business information and my banking and everything is on my phone, and it made me nervous. So I delete the app, and my sister sends me a TikTok, and I figured, you know what, let me just give it a try and click on it and see if you play. Because I know with Twitter, if I send a tweet to my husband who doesn't have the account, he can't view it. So I said to myself, how am I still able to play this? So I'm going through all the settings on my phone, and I found the TikTok in the app. You know, I went to iPhone apps, and there's a little cloud there. So does that mean that TikTok is still in my cloud live and able to somehow steal data from my cloud information? I want it gone from my life.
I want TikTok out already. I want it got done.
Yes.
You know, and rightfully so, because TikTok, it's owned by the Communist China company, right? ByteDance.
Right.
And they are getting a copy of every single thing on your phone, including your pictures and your texts and your facial ID and your voice print and everything. And so it's a really nasty, nasty program. So let's talk about removing it, and then if you want to put it back into your life, okay? It's really hard for me to... you don't want it back at all? No. Okay, we don't want it back. Forget that.
I don't ever want it back.
Okay.
Gone.
Okay, because, all right, so here's the deal, is that we're going to send you these steps via email, but basically you're going to locate the app that you want to remove from your iCloud account, and then when you find it, you swipe left, and then you click delete. That little cloud means that you had TikTok on your phone once, and you removed it, but if you hit the cloud, it's going to download right to your phone again. Now, once you remove the app from your iCloud account, you won't be able to download it again. It also deletes any preferences and data, which we don't care about this. And if you want to make sure that it doesn't auto-download again any of your apps that you delete, you have to go into iCloud and you have to switch off automatic downloads. But just keep in mind, we're going to send you all these steps, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, the reason why I said maybe you might want TikTok is that I've had people call me and say, hey, I know that the Communist China are getting a copy of everything, but I love TikTok. I can't live without TikTok. Well, that's when I recommend that you get an old device, get a cellular account, don't put it on your Wi-Fi, and the only thing that you do on that device is you can watch all the TikTok videos to your heart's delight. For everybody else, we'll post these steps over at Komando.com. And Mary, thank you for your call. You have to remember that whenever you're using TikTok, it does get a copy pretty much of everything that's on your phone. Your device's information, the operating system, the IP address, all your location data, all your usage data, your audio and visual data. I'm talking about your voice recordings, your videos, your photos. That's why so many people are up in arms over TikTok, and I advise you not to use it unless you're going to be using it on a dedicated device. And if you need more information about that, how to set up a dedicated device, we have it all over on the website. That's Komando.com. Okay, so let's say you just bought a shiny new television to watch the big game. You turn it on, but the picture's horrible. Okay, you probably don't have a lemon television. It's not defective. You probably just haven't calibrated the TV for your home's lighting. It's a pretty simple fix. You're going to head into the TV's display settings, and there you're going to see different words like vivid, film, standard, and sport. So you might want to try cycling through all of those to see which setting that you like the best. You can take custom control of your picture settings, but then you might kind of mess things up. That's where you start fiddling around with the contrast, the hue, the brightness, the sharpness, and also the color temperature. But you can adjust them all to your preference. But if you want to be a true TV pro, and I know you do, is that they have things out there, and you can buy them on Amazon, called calibration DVDs. It will actually walk you through each setting depending upon the light in that room. Now, what's the problem with this? Not too many people have a DVD player connected to their home theater or their TV anymore. So there are now calibration apps for your smart TVs and also for your smartphones. They have names like THX TuneUp, CalMan, and also Spectra CalMan. And if you need links for any of these, we have them over at the website. That's Komando.com. And while you're there, make sure that you do sign up for our free newsletters, because knowledge is power. That's Komando.com/subscribe. That's KOMANDO.com/subscribe. And do me a favor, tell 3 friends about the Kim Komando Show, because every single thing is now a tech thing.